what up? We back once again. It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another video. And what I want to talk about is the off-base and out-of-touch initiative that a lot of Democrats are doing. Now, again, I'm going to bring you back to those voting numbers because I'm going to drill those into the end of this presidency. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden got 87% of 13% of population's votes. And he's doing absolutely nothing for that 13% because that 13% has been effectively washed away by the 6 letters POC and BLM. Okay? Now, I saw a little clip that I'm going to play from Fox News. And the clip from Fox News is talking about how AOC is pushing for student loan debt relief. Now, if you recall, I've done extensive videos on Democratic snake oil. Okay, I've done extensive videos about Democrat snake oil and for things for people to be aware of when it comes to the lies and deceptions of the Democrats. Okay, now it's already on Joe Biden's plan to remove college debt. Right now, my thing is, don't use Joe Biden's student loan debt relief. You can do things like get a perpetual deferment. You know what I'm saying? You can do things like get a perpetual deferment. You can go through many different countries. You can even go through Fed loans, studentfedloans.gov. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these places will either give you a perpetual deferment or they will erase your loans completely based on your income percentage. So they're trying to advocate for policies, some of which you can already find a way to do. You just have to not be lazy about it, or you just have to talk to the right person, the right representative, a tax person, an accountant, or a student loan debt customer service person who knows how to use these techniques. You know what I'm saying? But you can get student loan debt relief. It may not be a net negative marked off on the bookkeeping of the United States government, but again, for practical purposes, an eternal deferment for your purposes, that's just as good as student loan debt relief, because for your purposes, what you're worried about is not paying it anymore. Now, AOC is being groomed. You know what I'm saying? AOC is the new cartoon character for the Democratic Party, and she's going to be that face. She's going to be that look. You know what I'm saying? She's young. She's just tan enough to be brown. You know what I'm saying? And, she has a loud mouth. And then she's got AOC plus 3, so it's 4 of them, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know what I'm saying? You got the squad, and then you got the new one, Cori Bush, the one who thinks that climate justice equals race justice. All right, when climate justice don't have anything to do with race justice, unless it's the temperature of the thermostat inside the vault where they dropping them dollars off at. You know what I'm saying? So Cori Bush is full of shit, and so is AOC. Now I'm gonna play you this clip from Fox News, okay? And Fox News is completely off base and massively out of touch with reality. But they do what they can, and they're in the state of Iowa, so it's not gonna be many people who will be coming from my perspective and talking about the things that I have to say about it. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna listen to what they say and in this interview with Elizabeth Warren, and also how Fox News keeps certain things out and doesn't report accurately. All right, so let's listen to this.
All right, moving on, New York Democrat Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calling on her colleagues to pressure Joe Biden to wipe out student loan debt. It's $1.6 trillion worth through an executive order. But is that possible? And would that just push tuition rates even higher than they are? To former Republican presidential candidate and current Forbes media chairman, my good friend Steve Forbes. Steve, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Happy Thanksgiving Day weekend. I want to talk about the fairness issue of wiping out school debt first, because it's something that Democrats usually scream about.
We should, when discussing policy, we should never talk in terms of fair, because for everything that's fair, there's always an example in United States policies where somebody can point out where something's not fair. And then when somebody points out when something's not fair, everybody else wants to tell that person, shut up, you're angry, blah, 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 get over it. Okay, I can say the same thing to this motherfucker. This dude right here that they about to have in Elizabeth Warren's face, He's crying because he already paid, you know what I'm saying, his daughter's student loan debt. He's crying about that. You know what you should be happy about? You should be happy that you were able to pay your daughter's student loan debt, and that, you know, your daughter is coming out of college with zero debt. That's what you should be happy about, because guess what? Your ungrateful ass, it's a lot of motherfuckers that's not able to do that financially for their kids. So you're completely out of touch with reality. Like, this dude's complaint, in my eyes, it's real. You know what I mean? He should get his money back, but it's not something that's noteworthy. That should be the primary talking point of why this is a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? But then again, this is coming from a perspective of an oblivious, naive American who only thinks that no other problems in America exist, which is why it's interesting to basically see a deaf person arguing with a blind person, which is basically what this dude is on Fox, talking to Elizabeth Warren's dumbass. All right, but one thing that he does pick up on Elizabeth Warren is how she laughs at him. And if you pay attention to all of my videos, one of the techniques that the Democrats do is when they lie to you and when they're about to take advantage of you, they laugh in your face. You know what I'm saying? They're not being friendly with you, they laughing in your face. That's what they teach at the Democrat Academy. You know what I'm saying?
Fairness. But Liz Warren, when she was on a campaign trail back in January, she went to Iowa. She was confronted by a working class American about the issue of school debt. Take a listen, and I want to get your reaction.
And this is what's funny. They just assume this motherfucker's a working class American. They just assume he's a working class American because it's Fox News. He fits the profile. You know what I'm saying? They didn't call him a Black Lives Matter member. You know what I'm saying? They didn't call him a KKK member. You know what I'm saying? They didn't call him anything. This motherfucker's a, quote, good working class American. They didn't get a resume on him. They wasn't even on site at the interview. This is a video clip. So how do you know this motherfucker's a good working class American? You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff that needs to be called out. It's the normalization of bullshit. All this dude was basically somebody who had a conversation with Elizabeth Warren. They giving this motherfucker all kind of credentials and accolades. This motherfucker could be an immigrant. He might be unemployed. He might be completely lying. He might just be trolling Elizabeth Warren. But because of appearances, because of cosmetics, you know, just a good stand-up American guy. You know what I'm saying? We see what the credentials are on just being automatically assumed a good stand-up American guy. The fuck out of here. That's why politics ain't for none of us. You know what I'm saying?
My daughter's getting out of school. I saved all my money. She doesn't have any student loans. So I'm going to get my money back. So you're going to pay for people who didn't save any money, and those of us that did the right thing get screwed. Of course, you know, my buddy had fun, bought a car, went on vacation. I saved my money. He made more than I did. But I worked a double shift, working actually like God works in his tent. So you're laughing. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. We did the right thing, and we get screwed. I appreciate that.
Wow. That's a lot of people think that might have cost her the nomination, Steve. There were other things, of course, but the fact that this guy and millions of other Americans worked their fingers to the bone, double shifts, saving, paying off their kids' school debt.
Now, what this newscaster said is interesting. He said that this possibly cost her the nomination. How? How did this cost her the nomination? The current president, prospective president, idiot Joe Biden, actually has this same shit on his platform. Student loan forgiveness is actually on the platform of the Democrats. It's on Joe Biden's platforms. It's one of the things that he said he was going to do. It's on the platform of the Green Party, and it's also on the platform of the Socialist Party of the United States. It's also some dumb shit that Black Lives Matter is advocating for. And another thing, we'll get into this shit some other time, but Black Lives Matter is actually going to get a meeting with Joe Biden. Now, how is it that an organization is going to get a meeting with Joe Biden before the Black Lives Matter organization is not written into Joe Biden's policy, his pandering, you know what I'm saying? But somehow they get a meeting. This is what's ridiculous about Joe Biden. These racist ideologies that he had. He literally thinks that Black Lives Matter represent black people. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. There's no chart and there's no graph that talks about how rights and all of this nonsense affects black people. But there is a chart that talks about the racial wealth gap. It's quantifiable and it's objective. That's anything that's quantifiable and objective is what Joe Biden will consistently steer away from. He will not address any of that shit, which is why I don't understand why people voted for him in order to have him address anything. He's not going to address anything. None of these people are going to address anything. You should have either voted for Trump or stayed out of the election, because Joe Biden ain't going to do a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell y'all this.
And he says, am I going to get my money back? There is a fairness issue to all this, isn't there?
Yes, there is, David, and it makes...
Again, let's not talk about fair, because what this dude is talking about is he wants reparations. He wants his payments repaired for something that the government is going to pay back. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm sorry, good working class American, get over it. How that sound? See, that's not very sensitive, is it? That's not very nice. You know what I'm saying? What about all the drugs that got decriminalized and all the people that's still sitting in jail because of Joe Biden and the bipartisan effort of creating specific policies to target certain people? You know what I'm saying? What about all these people that got all of these marijuana licenses? There ain't no experience curve in marijuana. When you talk about industries, you talk about an experience curve. People who already have been in the industry or have experience who should be industry leaders and things. They can't do that because they're already locked up. Because now that they got everybody off the street and they need tax money in order to fix this insurmountable national deficit that these idiots created over the inception of this country, they want to legalize marijuana for their personal gain. For their personal gain, not because they want to have you enjoy a good time high. They don't give a shit if you get high. You know what I'm saying? They want that tax money. They want the tax money. It's not good enough that the people that they put in the jails is working for free for the private prison industrial system. They want your tax money because they overspent. They swiped too much. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, I get it though. Honestly, I'm with this dude right here. I believe what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? And I do agree that he paid for his daughter's college, and if they do reimburse student debt, then he should get his money back. But I'm just literally trying to tell you how off base and how out of touch the average American is, because this motherfucker's out of touch. You don't think it's other people that's in the same situation as you that put in money, that put in economic value to things, and they haven't gotten paid back? And when somebody talks to a person like that, that person will say, get over it. Well, your daughter went to college, 4 years ago? She graduated already. She's got a viable career. Get over it. That don't feel too good, do it? That don't feel too good. Somebody telling you, get over it. The fuck out of here, man. You know, like, and then I sound angry. How do I sound angry? How do I sound angry reciting the things that you say? You know?
People who paid their debts, took their obligations seriously, look like fools. And if they have this debt forgiveness...
Look at Joe Biden. Look at Joe Biden. People paid a debt to him. Motherfuckers paid 87% or 13% of the vote, and he ain't doing shit for their asses. Now, if you listen to Fox News, despite all the ridiculous shit that Fox News says, for the most part, when Fox News is bashing Democrats, they're on point. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to other things, a little bit less accurate, a little bit more emotion into the things that they say, a little bit less numbers and objectivity. But when they bash Democrats, for the most part, when they strictly stay on the political talking points of Democrats and go in on them, for the most part, they're pretty much accurate. You know what I'm saying?
Of any kind of scale, where you're going to have people wondering, why should I pay those obligations? Why should I take those extra jobs?
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should do exactly what I said. You should talk to a student loan debt officer and find a way to get perpetual deferment. Look it up. Perpetual deferment of student loans. Fuck this dumbass shit. You know what I'm saying?
Why should I sacrifice a private university to go to an in-state university to save money and honor my obligations? So you make a mockery of people who play by the rules. And this gets to the big issue, which is...
Nobody in the United States plays by the rules. The United States was created by broken rules. But they won't tell you about this great country. You know what I'm saying?
Higher college tuitions rising at 4 times the rate of inflation, the sticker price. Why are they rising 8 times the cash wages of working Americans? It's because universities are afflicted with bureaucratic obesity. The very government program studies have shown, David, that are supposedly helping students.
Now, what's funny about this is when it comes to Joe Biden's racism, Fox News will be all over that, when Fox News is one of the most racist, scuzzy news networks on the planet. You know what I'm saying? But they won't talk about Joe Biden trying to racialize the student loan debt program. And another thing that's interesting about this is this came out a day ago. Now, this is also how racist Fox News is. Everybody knows that this ain't AOC's original policy. Student loan debt forgiveness is not original to AOC. You know what I'm saying? AOC represents a lot of things from the Green Party, and the Green Party has similar objectives to the Socialist Party, as well as to the Green Party and to the Democrat Party. All right. So this is a party ideology that has nothing to do with AOC. And also, this is also on Elizabeth Warren's platform. You remember in the beginning they showed a picture. Well, you guys didn't see it because I'm doing this video in the car. But I'll do a follow-up video on this tomorrow, I think, and I actually showed a video. But they showed a picture of AOC. So they're broadcasting to their audience, you know what I'm saying, who are people that don't look like AOC, to put AOC's face on this, you know what I'm saying, when AOC doesn't have a presidential platform. You know what I'm saying? This is AOC is just trying to hold these presidential people to task that supposedly represent her party. You know what I'm saying? So they put her face all over it.
New York Democrat Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calling on her colleagues to pressure Joe Biden to wipe out student loan debt. It's $1.6 trillion worth through an executive order.
And then who do they have in the interview? A picture of doing the interview? Elizabeth Warren.
Liz Warren, when she was on a campaign trail back in January, she went to Iowa. She was confronted by a working class American about the issue of school debt. Take a listen, and I want to get your reaction.
My daughter's getting out of school. I've saved all my money. She doesn't have any student loans. Am I going to get my money back? Of course not. So you're going to pay for people who didn't save any money, and those of us that did the right thing get screwed.
No, it's not anybody got screwed. When we started,
of course we did. My buddy had fun, bought a car, went on vacations. I saved my money. He made more than I did. But I worked a double shift, worked extra. My daughter's worksheet is 10. So you're laughing. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. We did the right thing, and we get screwed.
I appreciate
that's
that.
all right.
Wow, that's a lot of people think that might have cost her the nomination.
Elizabeth Warren. You know what I'm saying? But the title of this is AOC. And on top of it, it's on Elizabeth Warren's presidential platform because she actually ran for president. And it's on Joe Biden's. So basically, they're trying to quantitatively ease the outrage that these people have at Joe Biden and redirect it toward a person of color. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do in the AOC. But AOC too dumb to realize it, that she's a firing block. You know what I'm saying?
Instead, lead to higher tuitions. The universities get the money, they add administrative costs, and the students get stuck and their families get stuck with debt and in some cases grants, but with higher debts. So the universities get the money and the students get holding the bag. So you got to stop that corrupt gravy train of more and more and more money going to the university.
Now, basically, it's interesting how they're describing this. They're describing this in terms of economics. What he's talking about, the environment and the elements that literally are causing this student loan issue are literally maybe about 20% of the same issues that are causing the racial wealth gap. But if you listen to Fox News when it comes to the racial wealth gap, they'll say that it's all black people's fault because black people don't put themselves up by the bootstraps. So people will sit there and say, you know, like, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about this? Because when they're talking to everybody, they're talking to me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm somebody that did pull myself up by the bootstraps. So I'm talking about this to defend myself and tell these motherfuckers that they're full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Full of shit. Everybody's full of shit. AOC is full of shit. Elizabeth Warren is full of shit. That motherfucker that was whining and crying about his daughter's college debt is full of shit. These people on the news are full of shit. You know what I'm saying? None of these motherfuckers are honest. None of these motherfuckers actually have a clue about the real world and about the underworld of the United States, the pretty shit that they want swept under the rug, and if you talk about it, they want to try to tell you to be quiet. That's real censorship right there. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna censor you because you decide to do a reaction video to a bunch of ignorant black people saying disgusting things about white people. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna censor you about that. You should be able to defend yourself if people are making a video attacking you. You know what I mean? But that video has not caused a fucking gap. It hasn't caused a wealth gap. Last time I checked, the people that video was about still have increasing wealth at 3% all the way out to 2053. You know what I'm saying? The people in that video do not. So what is it that you're exactly upset about? Because this motherfucker said something? I'd rather have people talking shit about me all day long and be secure with my family straight and be like, oh, look at what these angry motherfuckers said. You know? Like, my feelings don't matter that much. I don't care. That's the problem, is we have an emotion-based society instead of a logical-based society. That's why you see a bunch of people who will line up at the bank and do nothing when the bank is robbing them, but will line up all throughout the United States when there's a local police issue. Local police issue is not putting any money in your pocket. It's not sending your kids to college. It's not putting real estate or a business in your name. It's not doing anything. You know what I mean? It's not doing anything. People need to stop. You know what I'm saying?
And students getting stuck with the debt.
The Wall Street Journal describes it this way. They say the government...
What students getting stuck with the debt? Go look at the damn debt report. See, this shit is lying. This shit is lying. Look at who gets disproportionately affected by student loan debt. It ain't the people you talking about. It ain't that motherfucker in Iowa. His daughter don't have no debt. He advocating for himself. You know what I'm saying? He literally said he worked 2 jobs so that his daughter wouldn't be in debt. You know what I mean? He ain't in debt, and he's working 2 jobs, and at those 2 jobs, if he's a college grad or a high school graduate, he's more than likely getting paid more than someone else with a bachelor's or a master's degree. But you don't talk about that, though. Fox News, you don't talk about that because everybody else got to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. You know what I'm saying? Only what good American people that fit this dude's profile say matters. None of the rest of us fucking matter. You know what I'm saying?
Subsidizes debt. Colleges raise their prices. Students are told to get more degrees, so you have credential inflation kicking in, and taxpayers eat the losses. Have they got it right?
They do indeed. There are 255 million adults in this country, David. 45 million have student debt. 210 million do not. Why should those 210 million be subsidizing the other 45 million? It's not right. So they got to get to what the Democrats...
Are you serious? We got a whole... There's like 5 classes of people above us who've been subsidized. But you won't talk about that shit, though. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about the dishonesty of the United States in the media industrial complex. You know what I'm saying? In these suckers and simps that cape for them. You know what I'm saying? None of these people, politicians, care about you. You got to care about yourself. They're not going to advocate for you. Nobody concerned about this. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you can subsidize this student debt. You can get eternal deferment. You just have to work for it. You got to fill out papers. You got to go get records. You got to get your tuition receipts. And the thing is that people don't understand is this is what they're talking about is only for federal student debt. It's only for federal. You still got Perkins loans. You still got state debt. You know what I'm saying? You still have state loans. You still have private loans. This doesn't eradicate student loan debt. This don't do shit. This will probably take care of the what? The federal plus loan? You know what I'm saying? For college? The federal plus loan, the shit that you get when you fill out the punk ass FAFSA. You know what I'm saying? This don't take care of no Perkins loan. This don't take care of loans on the state level. This don't take care of a instructional loan. You know, like it only takes care of the plus loan. The federal, the parent plus loan. That's it. People don't even understand how that shit works. They put their signatures on the promissory note and don't even understand how that shit works. Go talk to the registrar's office. Go to your college and talk to the registrar's office and get a breakdown of the college tuition and see how much of that money came from the Fed before you sign on to this. Don't just be sitting up there talking about, oh, student loan debt, Because I'm telling you, they pushing this shit so they can write something else in there that nobody is going to look at. They're going to write maybe like 5 bulletproofs that nobody sees. Everybody's so happy about the keywords student loan debt. You're not looking at what is doing, what's actually going on.
Love to cause the root cause of the problem is bureaucratic bloat, obesity in the universities. They get more and more money, more and more administrative costs, not so much for the classrooms, and students and the taxpayers get left holding these obligations. Not right.
You know, a lot of people say everything depends on the Georgia elections, if in fact the runoffs coming in January, if the Democrats don't take both of those Senate seats, it's unlikely that the Biden administration will get any of this passed through a Republican Senate. However, President Obama did a lot in this direction in terms of forgiving debt by just changing the rules. Under Obama's rule change, borrowers who couldn't afford their monthly payments merely had to agree to pay 10% of their discretionary income for 20 years, over a 20-year period, 10 years, by the way, if you had public service. It's all kind of wiggle room, and 56% of all loans issued to graduate students are now being repaid this way. So by more rule changes, Biden could essentially do the same thing that Obama did, which is a form of debt relief.
See, I literally just said the same thing, and this dude is actually referencing some of the things that I'm talking about as far as the perpetual deferment. You got to look into this stuff.
That would be challenged in the courts, but you hit a good point. There are already programs in place to help people pay these debts back, taking a percentage of income, and so you don't get crushed by it, and after 20, 25 years, in some cases, the remaining principal is forgiven. Only 43% of graduates are aware of these programs, so they could take advantage of those. But they got to get to the really root cause of it. And as you know, David, Purdue University, run by Mitch Daniels, has not raised tuition for almost 8 years. They're a fine university. They've increased the number of tenured professors. They focus on real administrative management, and that way the students don't get stuck with these debts. And they've also got some very innovative programs to help students cope with the low tuitions they already have. And so why can't the rest of the country follow the example of Purdue University?
And why can't Harvard and Yale and the others with billion-dollar endowments have free tuition? That's another question for another day. Steve Forrest, great to see you. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
There we go. So, I don't know. It's just my thoughts based on that. I might do a follow-up video on that. But check my playlist about Joe Biden. The things that I've discussed as far as the student loan plan and how I disagree with it and how I think it's counterproductive is also a smack in the face. It's a lift every person program. It doesn't really help with any disparities. All it does is just increase the amount of money invested into disparities at an even distribution, which literally does nothing for that specific segment of the disparity. And I think that's it, man. You know, YouTube has been unsubscribing people from my channel. I don't know if it's that they don't like my content. I don't know if it's that people are offended. But you know, I've never said anything negative about any person except for Democrats. You know what I mean? And BLM. You know, other than actually nothing. You know, I try to just mainly recite facts and my interpretation of the facts. And again, I love everybody. I'm not sitting up here speaking for a certain person or for a certain group of people or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I come from a certain group of people, and unfortunately, whether you like it or not, me being a part of a certain group of people is where my perspective is gonna come from, because me being from a certain group of people means that I get affected by issues that affect those people, you know. So if you don't like listening, you know, then don't. You know, but if you do like listening and you appreciate the content, then I appreciate it, you know, and I try to keep putting it out and, you know, trying to do as much as I can to help people be aware of the scams and lies that the media continuously puts out, the misconceptions and miswordings that they use in order to keep you perpetually confused and unaware of what's actually going on. All right. And with that being said, I think that's it, man. I don't really have nothing else to say on this video. I got places to go and people to see. So I hope this was helpful. I will catch you guys later. Please do me a favor. Go check out all my social media, Blacklight Revelations 1 and 2 on YouTube. Check me out on BitChute, Blacklight Revelations. Check me out on Facebook, Blacklight Revelations, DLive, Blacklight Revelations, Instagram, Blacklight Revelations, and on Twitter, King and Queen Legends 1 and 2, and on Periscope, King and Queen Legends 1 and 2. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.